I work with a lot of women who are where I was a handful of years ago, meaning that they have been on that whole dieting roller coaster. They've done every diet. They've exercised themselves to death without a lot of joy and are just tired of being in that cycle, tired of going from diet to diet, of things not working, of all the confusion around nutrition, of mentally beating themselves up about their bodies day after days, and they're just ready for something different, a new experience. And sometimes they can't really even articulate what that is, but just they found me, or they found my blog, or they found IPE and are interested in just, wow, I want to know what that's like to have peace around food and enjoy my body. I kind of called myself the body-food relationship coach because that's really what I like to focus on, is healing that relationship with body and food. So I also work around body image a lot and do workshops around body image as well. And I feel like all women can relate to that. So even the women that aren't necessarily wanting to lose weight, or are, like I said, we're on that dieting roller coaster, all women can relate to that feeling of, yeah, I'm really hard on myself and I don't really know why, and I don't know how to make it better, and maybe there's something different. There's a new possibility. So I like working with those individuals as well. What's really cool now, 2 years after graduating, is seeing myself and my business change, because I feel a sense of confidence in this work and sharing this work and finding my own particular voice and how I want to use the material and piece it together in ways that feel juicy for me and allow me to be creative. I think part of what we learn in the training is always that it's okay to stay humble. In fact, you should stay humble. It's okay to still have your issues resurface, and it allows me a sense of peace to share that with my clients or in my writing and in my blog, that, hey, like, I'm not Moses on the mountain, I still have my body stuff come up. I still have my food stuff come up for me. But what's different is I have a whole new set of tools on how I deal with that. That is very different than where I was, 8, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. And it's also been interesting to see some people reach out to me of like, wow, like, you've got a really unique experience here. You've got unique training here, and we don't really hear a lot about that in health and nutrition. Do you mind, helping our company or organization, with that and sharing that information with our individuals, because we haven't really heard that before. And what does that even mean? What's eating psychology? And people are really intrigued by that. Client success story. Yes, and there's one that just when you said that, I was like, let me think back. So there was one that in particularly that I've stayed in touch with. She actually reached out to me to try to set me up with a friend of hers and to talk, a friend of hers who's struggling a little bit. But she shared with me on the phone, she said, I just want you to know that our work together completely changed my life. It changed my relationship with my husband. It changed the way I think about myself as a woman. It changed the way that I walk through the world, and I just want you to know that 3 years later, it still had a huge impact on me. That means everything. I feel really called to teaching the work. That I'm been a teacher for many years prior to this, and still do that. And so I really feel drawn to teaching. So more workshops for women, retreats. And also I'm feeling really called to working with young women and mothers and helping to heal that relationship around body and food that gets carried down generation to generation. So I feel like our young women are really, they're starving for different kinds of role models. They're trying to understand how to navigate their sense of self in this world that's so body image conscious, with so many images and so many messages. So I'm really feeling pulled to keep working with women, but also integrate that with young women, since I've always worked with youth, and find a blend. And honestly, like, I have this vision of maybe how that would look as the women that I've mentored or coached, rather, can start to also be mentors to these young women that are struggling with this and trying to grapple with their sense of self. So that feels exciting, and that feels really juicy to me, to do more teaching and workshops and just really being connected with groups in that way. You have no idea what might be one session or one workshop or one thing that you say to a client or a workshop participant that can really impact their lives forever. I had a workshop participant tell me recently that thanks to our workshop that we had, 2 days later, she had this experience where she felt free enough to share dessert with her grandmother, something that felt terrifying for her, as somebody who had previously struggled with the eating disorder and still, feels like she struggles with body image and food. And she said to me, in a message she sent me after, she's like, I will never forget that experience I've had with my grandmother and the delight that it brought her and the joy that it brought me, and that when she passes away, I know I'll always have that experience to remember with her. And that just really touched me because, I think in the world of coaching, we can get lost in numbers and cents and making money, which of course is important. We have to make money to survive. But those stories of where you've shared or offered, or you've just at least opened the space for the conversation to happen, you just never know the realm of that impact and how far back that, or how far that will carry for that person. And so those are the big rewards of doing this work.